With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame. Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spiderwebs, and to top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent 8-legged companion. Ugh! Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps. The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights remained on. I picked up the auger from the tool shelf. The saw blades were rusted, dull, and would surely have precipitated the need for a tetanus shot. As I picked up the bottle, I anticipated what could be inside. A brine-stained treasure map, perhaps, or a scribbled plea from a castaway desperately awaiting rescue. Looking inside, I found it was empty. The only writing on it was the embossed glass letters of the Orangello Soda Company. The church door was locked. Hello?
Yeah! God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that! You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror. One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Who are you, anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
I'm looking for the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest the parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave them to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Bellemore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
Oh, what was the chant the schoolchildren made up about you?
Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying. Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. To tell you the truth, I'm quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
Hurry up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris. You carry those barrels in here and let me worry about the theological implications. This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if there's ghosts, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unloading. And keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I thought we was rum runners, not wine runners, boss.
Communion rum, then.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and the spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle. The gangly spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers. Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel, and out poured rum. I filled the bottle with rum pouring from the barrel. Relief washed over me at the realization that I'd done it without getting caught by the two rum runners.
Hey, Musket! There's someone out here!
Or so I thought.
Hey, fella, what do you think you're doing snooping around here? This is our church, you know, and it's closed.
I'm just here to do some praying. Mainly praying that I get out of this situation without a puncture wound.
He's being a wise guy, Musket.
Time to fill him full of lead.
But boss, it's bad luck to bump someone off in a churchyard.
Now, where'd you hear a nonsensical thing like that?
I thought churches was hallowed ground, where sin and immorality would face supernatural punishment in this world or the next.
Where do you get this stuff from? I told you, I do the thinking in this partnership.
I poured the rum into the gree-gree. The stories about Bellemore Manor are true. I saw the ghost bride inside the house.
Blast it, Murphy. Don't say I didn't warn you. This island has had its fair share of the macabre. The best way to deal with it is to leave well enough alone. Why are you searching for that treasure anyway?
Well, it's my job. The state's claim on that money runs out at 8 a.m., and I'm supposed to find it.
You seem pretty passionate about something that's just for work. What are the odds you draw an assignment like that?
Well, I might have made my own luck there. They wouldn't normally authorize an investigation so close to the statute of limitations running out, especially on a 30-year-old cold case. But thrust a stack of forms in front of the boss 5 minutes before clocking off on a Friday afternoon, and he doesn't care what he's signing.
Let's just hope he wasn't signing your death warrant.
Most of my investigations don't amount to more than counting paper clips in a municipal building or going cross-eyed over receipt rolls in a courthouse. When I found that old case folder tucked behind the filing cabinet, its only lead, a water-stained magazine, talking about a real-life haunted house, how could I pass it up? You didn't tell me the Spirit Queen was a riverboat.
Oh, sure. That thing's been moored up in the bayou with her keel kissing the mud for years. Witch doctor lives aboard her now. Claims to sell all manner of hoodoo and voodoo. But to believe that, you need to be dumber than the bachelor in New Orleans, throwing beads at the Sisters of Mercy.
I spoke with Dr. Moray. He thinks we can make contact with the ghosts.
Moray is a charlatan and a fool. Only got into hoodoo and voodoo a few years ago. Before that, he was an actor over at the Calliope Theater, and not a very good one. He's the only person I know who directed and starred in a one-person production of The Pirates of Penzance. And that's because all the rest of the cast dropped out rather than work with him. He's always been searching for respect and recognition. Who would have known he found it by living in the swamp and reeking of incense?
Don't you believe in voodoo?
I certainly do. I just don't think Moray's got any more control of it than the rooster has control of the sunrise. His understanding of voodoo amounts to whatever he's gleaned from one of those horror pictures Ventura Studios puts out at the movie palace. My mama used to know all about it. God rest her soul. Voodoo isn't some made-up Hollywood magic, Mac. Voodoo's a real religion. It's about community, about belonging, and about searching for something more than flesh and blood. It's not the snake oil he peddles.
What do you think happened at Bellemore Manor?
Now, there's a tale I don't like to tell.
Can I persuade you to tell it anyway?
I have a feeling I ain't gonna get any rest until I do. You know about Miss Bellemore, the bride, engaged to the sailor? Nah, the way I hear, Mr. Rackham was over the moon with her. Such an upstanding fellow. I won't have a bad word said against him. Now, he realized that the sailor was going through terrible lengths to ensnare his bride, and Mr. Rackham tried to save her. I heard that the sailor cottoned on to this and tricked Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what made everything go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
There are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Do you think the disappearance was caused by voodoo?
And that's what my mama used to say. If you're not careful, that stuff can go to your head.
No luck fishing?
Not a bite, Mac. The Pengoza fish just ain't snapping for me today. Shame, too, because I'm planning on firing up my grill later. And the tastiest catch in these waters.
Why won't you hear a word against Mr. Rackham?
He gave me my first work on this island, right here on these docks. And I'm still here to this day. He may have worn a scowl, but you don't judge a banana by its peel with people like him, Mac. When I looked into his eyes, all I saw was ambition.
What work did you do?
Loading and unloading the ships that came in. Of course, they just don't do that anymore. Dead Nettle's a forgotten town. Maybe that's for the best.
How do you catch a Pencosa fish?
With hours of patience and decades of practice. You ever wrestled a rod before?
Just the once. I went fishing on Lake Erie, but the only thing I caught was a cold. What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the captain's club. They fancy them up with lemon lobsters, slawfish, something or other. But everyone knows the best way to cook them is to grill them.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
What do you think of my fish?
That's a whopper. Hang it on the scale and let's see what it weighs. Doubt it'll beat Squibb's record, though.
I hung the fish on the scales.
You caught a Pencosa. They're the most delicious fish around here, especially grilled. But you'll never beat Squibb's record.
Squibb?
Jebediah Squibb, the Cajun catcher he calls himself. Last week at the Dead Nettle Docks, Squibb caught the heaviest Pencosa on record. Got his photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything. Now how am I going to rest while he brags and boasts about it every single night?
With its innards made of cotton and material scraps, the fish's weight was distinctly unimpressive. From the outside, I couldn't. Ouch! So much for good luck. I picked up the horseshoe that had assaulted me. It was heavy, as the bump on my head attested. With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermy fish. Now it was heavy. I couldn't do that. I didn't need to show him that again.
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You've been holding back on me. That breaks Squibb's record.
McAllen! How does it feel to have decimated the town record in your first few hours on the island?
How did you hear about this so fast?
It's my job to know about things fast. Now, I'm asking the questions here. Where'd you get the fish, McAllen?
Well, it was a mighty battle on the southern coast. Its fins strong as a motor, its mouth as fierce as a tiger's. I paused dramatically to allow my fishing prowess to wash over them.
What rod did you use?
Wooden one?
I mean, what make?
You know, I didn't use a rod.
You caught the fish without a rod?
It was more one-on-one. Mono, fisho.
You wrestled a fish?
And I won.
Well, as much as it pains me to say it, you're the cover story in the next edition of the Juniper Parish Gazette. And this is why I'm not getting a Pulitzer.
I've got to hand it to you, Mac. That fish is a whopper. I don't know how you got it, but as long as it keeps Squibb quiet at the porch party tomorrow, I ain't complaining.
Hey, Ned, do you mind if I borrow your knife?
If you need it, Mac, just bring it back to me later tonight, would you? If I'm lucky with my catch, I'll be firing up the grill. And you're invited to join me, of course.
Murphy, have you seen the cover of the evening edition? I think we caught your personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, unsophisticated. Makes it all the more surprising that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I should have it framed.
That'll cost you.
I remember your trick with the telegram.
Hey, it's nothing personal. Your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, McCallan. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth? No.
I need a good story. I can't let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that. Yes?
Hi. What are you working on?
One of the most romantic articles this newspaper's ever seen. Francois Fogg, Dead Nettle's local pharmacist, is reuniting with his long-lost love after 14 years apart, thanks to this newspaper's personal ads column.
What a lovely story.
That's right. She mailed in a letter she wanted printed. Her former sweetheart saw it, and now they're on track to see each other again. Eventually.
Eventually?
Well, that's a bit of an administrative issue. In the letter we received, she told him to meet her in her Texas hometown of Magnolia. Due to a tiny typesetting error, he's now on a 6-week voyage to Mongolia. But doesn't it warm your heart how far people will go for love?
Did you know Comptroller Grimes?
How could I forget him? The guy was a walking, talking migraine generator.
Surely you shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
Why not? I spoke plenty worse about him when he was alive. Anyway, I'm sure everything happens for a reason. And hopefully that reason is to increase my circulation numbers. Everything's connected, you know? Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I suspect it works for moths, too, because I can never get the damn things out of here. Some people say that if a man breaks wind in Alabama, it can cause a hurricane in Fiji.
I think I shared a train car with that guy on my way here. Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop interviews, hiding under windows.
You eavesdrop on people through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
I'm doing some research on the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Have you found it?
Well, no, not yet. I've just started looking.
Then don't waste my time. Come back when you've got the goods.
Have you ever written an article on the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
What a waste of column inches. Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story?
Not one that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What do you think went on?
Practically everyone on this island thinks there was some kind of sorcery involved. No one is looking at the reality. If I write up my research, no one on the island will believe me. If I write their wackadoodle theories, I'll be laughed out of the industry.
You might not believe this, but I saw a ghost inside Bellemore Manor.
You know what? You're right, McCallan. I don't believe it. Really? You've been on this island how long? And you're already starting to sound as loopy as a local.
You can tell me what you've uncovered about Bellemore Manor. Trust me, at this point, few things would surprise me.
I heard the Bellemore Trading Company was losing revenue, its profits eaten up by who knows what ventures those brothers had going on. I've seen the records. The company was privately owned, sure, but when you've got pressure building and the sharks are circling, you've got to shore up your defenses. I think that's why the Bellemores persuaded Abigail to marry John Rackham.
Marry someone she didn't love?
But he didn't love her either. He was just after the company, so he hires the sailor to seduce her, convince her there's more to life than Devil's Rock. And as soon as she marries Rackham, they split, never to see each other again. He inherits the lot, and she disappears with her lover boy sailor to who knows where.
But why do you think all the guests disappeared?
They bumped them off to cover their tracks. Either one of them could have been sunning it up in Sarasota ever since. But imagine me writing that into a piece of serious journalism.
I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled for a story, McCallan. There are secrets on the island, and it's my job to run advertisements next to them.
I picked up the twine. With her stunt at the bayou, I figured she owed me one. I picked up the scissors. Maybe she owed me two. I'd like to buy a newspaper.
Finally, I get something out of you loitering in here. That'll be 1 cent, please.
I picked up the newspaper. The fewer people that saw it, the better. The headline read, "Island Newcomer Breaks Fishing Record," with my photograph printed in black and white. The headline read, I placed the dime into the gree-gree. That would work as the silver coin. Carefully, I cut my photograph out of the newspaper. It was the photograph of myself I'd cut out of the newspaper. I wish I'd posed better.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open.
Oh, my second customer of the night. I don't know if I can handle such a rush. Welcome, young man, to Doubloon's Jewelry. Oh, the riches to fill your breeches. Jewels, silver, gold, the finest things for you to behold. Whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?
My name's Murphy McCallan.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. My name's Jasper Crumb, owner and proprietor. Are you looking for something valuable while you're here on the island?
Funnily enough, I am.
Is there a special someone in your life? Looking for an apology gift, perhaps? I've sold more missed anniversary necklaces and drunken fumble earrings than I can count.
No, I don't need anything like that.
Then how about something for yourself? You look like a working man. Could I interest you in a pocket watch?
Actually, I had one up until about an hour ago. Traded it to a glowing green guy for a magic pouch. As the words left my lips, I realized I sounded like a character from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Pardon me?
I'm just here to browse.
Browse away, young man. I'll be here if you need me.
I inspected the carving. Its woodworm-dotted surface and water-stained edges suggested it had once been much more than a decorative piece in a jewelry store. Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How's business tonight?
You're not a millionaire with an enraged fiancé, are you?
I'm not, no.
I didn't think so. Then business tonight is about as lively as a snail drinking decaf. The only other customer I had in here tonight was more interested in the provenance of fossils than the shiny stuff. Booked a private viewing, and then didn't buy anything. Can you believe it? The first time in weeks this shop gets a private viewing, and all they're interested in is bones.
You sell fossils, too?
I sell all the treasures of the earth. If it's under the ground and I can sell it, I'm interested.
I hear Burke and Hare had the same philosophy. What are you selling?
We specialize in jewelry and precious stones. Rings, necklaces, earrings, and brooches in this cabinet to my left. Gems, geodes, and fossils in this cabinet to my right. You'd be surprised at how much of an impact some stones can make. My family can tell you that. We also offer a free polishing service on all purchases from the shop. Just bring it in and we'll shine it up for you. Our little thank you to our loyal customers.
How do you know what jewelry was purchased here?
I handcraft everything this shop sells. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of our wares, Mr. McAllen, going back decades.
What's the carving on the front of your counter?
That is the genuine stone carving of the Golden Goose, the famous brigantine. I could trace my family's history on the island back hundreds of years, right back to the ship's owner, Captain Bartholomew Crumb. You've heard of him, I expect.
Captain Crumb, the vicious pirate? I read about him as a child.
One of the most successful in the Caribbean. That is, until, as the story goes, he got pursued by a ghost ship.
What's the most valuable thing in here?
I suppose that depends on how you value things, doesn't it?
In dollars and cents?
Yes, I used to value things that way. But a lack of business has a way of making you more philosophical about these things. Now I'd say the most valuable thing here is Granny.
Granny? Your grandmother is in here?
That's right. In the fishbowl. Granny is my goldfish.
I'm looking for lost treasure.
I'd say you found it. Everything inside these four walls is a treasure, handmade to the finest quality.
I mean a specific treasure. The lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Well, if you find it, bring it in here for an appraisal. I'll give you a good price for it. But that's a pretty big if, isn't it?
What do you know about Bellemore Manor?
Oh, it's a tragedy what went on there. But I know what I think. Black magic.
Black magic?
That's right. While some of us make an honest living around these parts, there are others who are lured in by the darker depths of the sea.
Who do you think that was?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? Abigail used to stop by here all the time, taking a gander at the rings and the necklaces. She was a lovely young girl who always saw the best in people. And Mr. Rackham, he was a model for how to run a good business. Honest and decisive. Now, that only leaves one person, doesn't it?
The sailor?
Exactly. I'd heard rumors about black magic going on inside Bellemore Manor. I think he was casting his spell on Abigail, making her fall in love with him. Why else would someone as rich as her want to marry someone like him? He certainly couldn't afford the rings and necklaces that caught her eye. I think, come the night of the wedding, she wised up. That's why she decided to marry Mr. Rackham after all, a much more responsible choice for the company.
You named your goldfish Granny?
Yes, it was the most wondrous thing. The same day my grandmother Bethesda died, I was out at the local fun fair, and I won this goldfish on the ring toss. When we got home, every time we mentioned Bethesda, that little fish jumped out of the water and back on in. We think Granny's passed on into that fish. What do you think?
I mean this with no disrespect, but I think that's the craziest thing I've come across tonight, and I had a ghost bride trying to kill me.
We all have our quirks.
But don't goldfish only live for a few years? If she was your grandmother, she must have died sometime around the middle of the last century.
Oh, yes, that's right. Each time the goldfish dies, Granny's spirit hops into a new fish. We must be on Granny number 44 by now.
A ghost ship? Surely that can't be more than a legend.
Then how do you explain this? Without a single shot fired, every sailor aboard his ship fell down dead, victims of an evil pirate who wielded a black stone. Captain Crumb was the sole survivor. He escaped undetected in a rowboat, and after days at sea, made it to this very island. After that, he never went to sea again. Instead, he set up this shop with the one chest of jewels he'd managed to carry away. Some of the gems you see around here still date back to that final hoard.
A black stone killed the crew?
Well, so the story goes. I suppose it explains my family's obsession. Not just the gold and jewels that tempt us, but the wicked stones that threaten us.
Why did Captain Crumb come to Devil's Rock to set up his store?
This was his home port. Devil's Rock used to be quite the lawless island. Legend goes he used to hide his treasure along the southeastern coastline. The island is dotted with caves. Plenty of places to hide the loot.
I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
It was even if I could reach it, it was probably better for the jeweler to operate equipment like that. Excuse me, would you be able to polish a brooch for me?
Let me take a look. Oh, well, 18-karat yellow gold, filigree wirework in a handcrafted floral motif, and round, brilliant cut ruby, if I'm not mistaken, made to fit a music box?
That's right. How did you know that?
I know my own handiwork anywhere. Now, how did you get a hold of it?
Oh, just a gift.
What a generous gift indeed. Well, we do offer free polishings on all items purchased here, so I'd be very happy to shine her up for you. Please, bear with me for a moment. There we go, shining like a firefly's rear end. I'm afraid the clasp on the back has broken off. You weren't planning on wearing it soon, were you?
I wasn't planning on wearing it at all.
There's no shame in indulging yourself every once in a while. Lord knows I can appreciate the comfort and empowerment a pair of hosiery can bring. Anyway, we don't have any replacement clasps in stock, but I can put it in order. In the meantime, here's a button magnet that should hold it in place, as long as you're not too vigorous with it.
Thank you.
What a nice young man. Isn't he, Granny? I couldn't have put it better myself.
I went to open the door into Bellemore Manor, but the key was gone. I was sure I'd left it in the lock. The handle turned, but the door was restrained by the taut rope tied to it. From its other end dangled a heavy barrel full of molasses. I reached up to the cow skull and dislocated its grisly jaw. I placed the jawbone into the gree-gree. With the item I touched the back of the photograph to the molasses. Thanks to the stickiness of the molasses, the photograph adhered nicely to the captain's license. I could have tried squeezing my arms through the bars, but I already knew the barrel was too far away to reach. Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said good evening?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
There's no one else here.
Wishful thinking on my part. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
I'm just having a look around.
Well, make it a quick one, and I shall need to know your name.
Murphy McCallan, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
My name is Felix Greer, maitre d', bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club. When Mr. Perkins has the night off.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I recommend a swift exit? You'll find a convenient egress to your starboard side. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction, sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
For one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to saltwater and a sullen, uncooperative crew, I should think. Do you even have a boat?
Actually, I did have one earlier this evening, but an alligator fell on it. Admittedly, it was only 3 inches long.
It isn't the size that matters, sir. It's the motion of the ocean. Tell me, have you ever captained a three-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails, fire in your furnace, waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's a little complicated.
In what way?
I get seasick.
Ned told me he sells fish to you. What do you serve here?
Captains.
Right, yes. I mean by way of food.
The Captain's Club serves a dazzling array of sea-sourced dishes, from our house special jambalaya to my personal favorite, Devil's Rock Pancoza, pan-seared with lobster slaw and citrus crawfish beer blanc. In all honesty, it's not very popular. Most of the clientele are absolutely sick of seafood by the time they get ashore. Just the sight of it makes them queasy.
Is there any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains of both river and sea to carry one. But don't try to foist off a fake on me. Last week, we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair, and most importantly, one less eye.
Is the club busy tonight?
Well, we haven't opened yet, but if it's like last week, it'll be quite the lively soiree. I could barely keep up.
The members here like to have a good time?
That's right, sir. Both of them. This town sure isn't what it used to be.
What's happened to Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the Tourist Information Center? I can assure you, you'll never meet a tourism official who dresses with this much panache. Stuart LePew, head of the Devil's Rock Historical Society, looks like a thrift store had a crisis of conscience and threw up on him.
I was just hoping to talk to someone so obviously knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, that is true. I am plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the locality. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel.
Felix pushed out his chest like this was his moment in the limelight, his eyelids half closing as he performed before imagined crowds.
Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Bellemore Trading Company, our town has settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our cozy town and perhaps explore some of the local sites here in Dead Nettle. Well,
Excuse me?
I was expecting applause.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, goody! Another young adventurer seeking fame, fortune, or some combination of the two. Just the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking.
What do you know about the lost treasure?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots, X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is a noble skill that doesn't need to be trivialized with childish tales of lost treasure.
You must have some thoughts on the disappearance.
On moonlit nights, when the waves crash against the rocks, the captains of this club trade yarns about this very mystery. Did you know Abigail Bellemore's fiancé was a sailor who worked on the ships? Some of the old boys here even worked with him. They say he loved her, as true as a captain loves the sea. But she was a temptress, a siren. She scuttled that sailor's heart, consumed by a voodoo premonition that she had to fulfill. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy.
What did she do?
After months of engagement, she broke it off and chose to marry an officer of the company instead, on their very wedding day.
Why did she do that?
The rumors I've heard are that they discovered something in the Caribbean, something wicked, something that consumed them and drove them to heinous acts. The Bellemore brothers swore their crew to secrecy, and the men were loyal to their word. But the rot in the rope was that sister, Abigail. People say that whatever they discovered took hold of her. With the sailor's broken heart and the officer's resources, she was about to unleash something terrible. Until the disappearance halted her evil plans.
Do you think that's true?
Of course not. It's all nonsense. But the captains do love to outperform each other with such tales on a dull evening.
You know, I quite like being out at sea.
Oh, really, sir?
Bobbing along the ocean waves, up and down, like one of those roller coasters at Luna Land. Up and down and up and down.
If sir would please be quiet. Else I expect there'll be a few waves of something coming out of my mouth any moment.
What about drinks?
Listen, if you're from the Prohibition Bureau, we've cleared all of that up with Officer Moe. Fines were paid, items changed hands, and now we're clear.
I'm not from any Prohibition Bureau.
Then forget I said anything. The Captain's Club is strictly teetotal, in line with federal law. Now, if certain members wish to bring in their own medicinals, then we're happy to provide the accompanying aids. Ice, tonic, mixers, and the like, but we serve no alcohol on the premises.
I best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
My credentials.
You're telling me you are a captain?
I trust it's all in order.
I thought you said your name was Murphy McCallan.
That's right.
Then why does this say Captain Knott?
It's a pseudonym for marketing purposes. You've got to stand out nowadays. A cool name's a good way to do that. You didn't think Captain Hook was called Hook before the hand incident, did you? What would the odds of that have been?
Look, Sonny, the bylaws of this club only allow the club manager to verify a captain's license. And Mr. Perkins is enjoying his backgammon soiree with Mrs. Perkins and the ladies this evening, with strict instructions not to be disturbed. So I'll accept this for tonight, but try this again tomorrow night and it'll be another story. Now, with that said, a warm and hearty welcome to the Captain's Club. We sincerely hope you make use of and enjoy our facilities, and do please let me know if I can be of any assistance at all. We don't open for another hour, but if you'd like, you can head up now to acquaint yourself.